course, The Last Jedi. This is gonna be bumpy. Also, of course, spoiler warning ahead. Now, I have always been a huge Star Wars fan, and for the sake of this review, I'll try to be as impartial as I possibly can. That said, let's start the review. Now, the basic background of this film is that it was released December 15th, 2017. It was the third installation to the franchise after the Disney purchase. It trailed behind the complaints of Episode 7 having the same plot points of Episode 4, which is a debate on its own, although it pretty much is. Sorry, JJ, you did your best. But still, Rian Johnson wanted to do something different. And as always, when you insert something new in Star Wars, chaos ensues. Now, of course, the complaints in this movie are truly based in reality. I won't deny that. Examples of these range from annoying, misplaced humor, such as during the evacuation scene at the beginning of the movie, where Poe makes Hux look like an incomprehensible idiot, which is kind of annoying because these are supposed to be the big scary bad guys. But they don't look scary, they just look stupid. Also, Canto Bight is just really bad. Everything in the Canto Bight portion of the movie, including DJ, is awful. Maybe except for the stylish police, but they're just way too cool looking. I mean, look at those slick helmets. I mean, really. They're just too good. Rose 2 is kind of annoying, but I'll get to that later. Also, don't forget the movie's cash grab, Porgs, which I have to admit are adorable, which makes their true merch-selling purpose that much more diabolical. Also, General Holdo was a nuisance. Her actions might have been a little annoying. I mean, like, can't we just tell people what we're planning on doing? That would be great. But nope, time to space kamikaze through a giant ship, because why not? And back to DJ, he felt very artificial throughout this movie. I mean, like, his stutter seen force, which was the pun, his charisma was in this weird limbo state, and the movie definitely could have gone without him. And not to mention the worst part of this movie, that stupid green nipple milk. Yeah, you probably forgot about it. Don't worry, I got your back, because I didn't forget about it. Now, that's not to say that this movie is without merit. I mean, every Star Wars movie has some redeeming factors, including the holiday special. Okay, maybe not the holiday special. Actually, no, it introduced Boba Fett. It has one redeeming quality. Anyway, back to The Last Jedi. The humor still has some place in the movie. I'm not saying we should get rid of it. It makes the characters feel so much more human. Well, I'll admit, in the prequels and even the originals, they could sometimes feel stale. However, the Marvel-style hitchhiking of plot and the emotions that it brings through this humor is something that Star Wars should avoid. But we should definitely keep some of that funny stuff in there, like that part. Remember when Kylo just watched Husk his face beat to the ground? That was pretty funny. Speaking of Ben Solo, his arc was solid. The self-divisive torment was relatable and sad at the same time. The most compelling thing about him is that he doesn't know what he wants. Sure, he temporarily picks Rey in the end, but then he changes back and grasps for power, and even that still makes him feel empty. And in no way am I inferring that this character has no drive. He's just trying to figure out what that is. There's a difference, and it's a powerful one. And like any Star Wars movie, well, except the holiday special, the visuals were on point. These movies can't miss a beat with this kind of thing. And of course, Ice Foxes. Just yes. They were adorable, they had purpose to the plot, they saved the heroes, and I just want one, I can't lie. Now, a big part of these kinds of movies is how the characters develop, which in this specific example is polarized. I mean, on one hand, you have characters like Poe, who's really just this cocky fly, and at the end of the movie, he's still just a cocky flyboy who just respects authority a little more and doesn't want to ask as many questions. You also have characters like Rey, which open up to the dark side, but in the end stay true to their morals and ultimately fight off the temptation. But in the name of balance, you also have Kylo, and good old Swolo is always in self-torment, and this torment leads him down the path of evil. Which then leads us to Finn, who carries on his hero arc from the last movie. we see him again develop his need to help others and put others in front of himself, to invest himself in a cause, not because he was brainwashed to like the First Order, but because he truly believes in it. Diverging from the main cast, you also have some of the side characters, which also get some arcs. Princess Leia, example, is also just fun space grandma. While it might appear like she's a little stern on Poe, she definitely has a weak spot. Gosh, I'm gonna miss Carrie Fisher. Anyway, we also have Chewbacca, which is Chewbacca. It's perfect. Don't touch it. Don't change Chewie. It's perfect. Don't touch him. Solo, I swear! And more heartbreaking than Ben Swallow, we have Luke. Luke, who was a hero, a legend, and is now just a broken old man, who has to endure an entire paradigm shift, face his mistakes, and realize his cynicism was in vain. His character arc was definitely the best in the film, and his overall character arc is only behind that, or debatably on par with, Anakin Skywalker. And then you have General Holdo. She kind of just butts heads with Poe and then commits space kamikaze, but that's cool, Disney. That's cool. Now anyway, I know this movie has a lot of beef with its modern perception. People don't like the depiction of Luke Skywalker. Rose is basically the new Jar Jar. What a waste. Canto Bight is also in this movie. Then you mix Canto Bight and Rose. It's obviously the worst thing ever to ever exist. Just kidding. That's still the holiday special. I really hate that movie. But none of that matters now. Let me give you some education. Now, while everyone usually doesn't like the appearance of Luke Skywalker in this movie, he carries a weight he never really did before. I mean, he's a broken teacher. I mean, he lived out the past 7 years thinking about how all this bad stuff happened because of him. Because his inability to act, and when he did act, it was too much. He lives in an incredible amount of guilt, and Yoda always is there to help him, which is another complaint about this movie. People say Yoda is this joking little puppet in this movie, when Yoda has always had a lighter side, except for the prequels, but we don't really talk about them that much, because Yoda always has something to teach Luke. It's a line of teachers. Each one still has something to learn, and in the end, Luke dies for something he cares about. He dies for balance, and to save those he loves, like his sister. Now I know what you're thinking, hater out there, or maybe not you, but possibly? Sure, Luke might have been used in a way, but why was Rose there in the first place? And that is a much harder question to answer. And I have thought a lot about Rose, and I will admit her inflammation was kind of bad. It was an ambitious shot by Disney, but it was ultimately a miss. She feels forced onto the plot. However, calling her the next Jar Jar Binks is just inaccurate. Jar Jar was there for the quick fart joke in simple comic relief, while Rose has a vengeful, deeper drive throughout the film due to the recent death of her sister. But to that infamous line at the end of the movie, she realizes that you don't fight a war based off what you hate, but you focus on saving what you love. Which also gave us a meme, so that was pretty. Thanks, Rose. But we still hate you because you're basically Jar Jar Binks. Disney ruined my childhood. I'm not gonna lie, Canto Bight is kind of a waste. It felt more politically motivated than motivated by the plot, and kind of an insert by Disney. While I don't disagree with the fact that we should spread the awareness of animal cruelty, and I hope all of you agree, by the way, it still shouldn't have really been in the film, especially since animal cruelty is on a downturn. Also, back to Rose, how she saved Finn, and that final climactic moment. It actually holds a lot more merit to her character than a lot of people give her credit for, because obviously Rose is afraid of loss, especially loss to those who do the right thing, the heroic thing. Her sister died, what I can only assume is within 18 hours before due to the movie's timeline. So when she sees Finn do something heroic and prepare to end his life to save those he cares about, it's understandable that she might panic in that moment. However, I still agree that totally derailed the arc of Finn. However, it makes sense for her character. And finally, for the last complaint I wish to discuss, was the kind of duel between Luke Skywalker and Kylo Ren at the very end of the movie. The duel definitely has a purpose in the film. It is the result of Luke's total paradigm shift, and shows that he is truly willing to die for those he cares for, as previously stated, and that he's willing to die not for the resistance, but for the hope that the galaxy will one day return to a republic. And let's just be awesome. That last binary sunset scene, that was awesome. So if you liked it, that's great. Leave a like below, and if you didn't, that's great too. Just tell me what I did wrong. Oh yeah, and I guess since I'm a YouTuber, I gotta say this whole jig. So don't forget to subscribe. But not to me, because I'm not a narcissist. Instead, you subscribe to the high quality of DeVon Games. Unless you don't like video games, in that case you'll probably hate it. Or you can wait for my next video, which will try to make history related, so comment below what you think it should be about. Just please not the Emu War. I would really hate to cover the Emu War. Just no, please, thank you, bye. Yeah, that's it. You can go now.